Hey guys, David Patrick Green here, davidpatrickgreen.com, hackhollywood.com. You can check out the bracelets. If you want a bracelet, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. Just send me an email to david@hackhollywood.com. And anyway, today's talk is about how to meet casting directors. There's many reasons why you might want to meet casting directors. The obvious one being casting directors cast movies and television shows. But a more important reason why you want to meet casting directors is that they need to know who you are, what you're all about. Most of the information people give out there talks about sending them headshots, sending them your reel, getting an agent who will then pitch you to the casting director, which basically means all they do is submit you electronically like you would. So there's really not much difference except for, I guess the thought is there's a screening process involved. An agent wouldn't take you if you didn't have decent, nice alfalfa there, buddy. If you didn't have decent talent, an agent wouldn't pick you up. But then you have to ask yourself, what do agents know about talent? I mean, how do they judge if you're talented or not if you haven't really done much? So the reason you want to meet casting directors is because they give access to auditions and projects, and hence directors and producers, who are actually even more important than casting directors in an actor's life, but we'll cover that in another video sometime. So for now, how do you meet casting directors? Well, if you live in Los Angeles or Hollywood, and even some other parts of the world where casting directors have started to, travel to, there is something called the Casting Director Workshop. That is not how you should meet casting directors. Really, actors need to avoid casting director workshops to end them altogether, because all they do is add an extra layer between you and someone who has to meet you anyway. And it's sort of an artificial means that sprang out of the fact that casting directors have less and less relevance in today's world. Because of the digital world we live in now, casting directors have less effect on actors getting to producers and directors. Now, definitely, producers can't handle the volume of submissions themselves. They don't have time for that. They need someone to sort through that. But to have an actual independent casting director is becoming less and less prevalent. And you'll see that many of the studios have actually reduced or eliminated their casting departments altogether, because they can use somebody independently whenever they want without hiring a full-time employee. And so therefore you have casting directors who are just not making a lot of money because they're only hired on a as-needed basis. And so what they've figured is a lot of naive actors will pay them money to get access to them. And anyway, actors need to avoid that, because if you just pay somebody, then first of all, you don't know if they're seeing you just because you gave them money or if you've got talent. And whatever they say to you in a meeting like that has to be called into question because of the money involved. So, not that I really want to get into casting director workshops, but that is one of the traditional ways people in Los Angeles would meet casting directors. But let's talk about some non-traditional ways that a lot of casting directors themselves, of course, will tell you not to do, because they would rather get paid to meet you. So what I suggest is that you literally just show up at their office. That's it. That is the most powerful thing you can do. Now, you don't want to just show up without being prepared. You definitely need to have skills, talent. You have to have the ability to act and audition at an extremely high level. There is absolutely no point in getting in front of these people if you aren't able to help them immediately. And that is literally what everything I will tell you is about. It's about helping others make their lives better or easier. So how do you make a casting director's life better or easier? Well, you fill a role. Now, do you have to have a specific role in mind when you go to see them? No, because who knows when the perfect role for you will come along. but that doesn't mean you don't need to know them. You really need to know them when that specific role comes along so they agree with you that you are perfect for that role. So whether you're submitting yourself or whether the agent is submitting you, the more people know each other and what they really are all about, the better it is for everyone. So if you know what the casting director is all about and what they specialize in, and if they know what you're all about and what you specialize in and your particular style or brand of personality and acting, the better it is for everyone, because then you will get the role and they will have a much easier time fulfilling the role. So just show up at their door. Now the question is, how do you prepare for that? Well, you really need to do your homework. It's imperative that whenever you go to see somebody, because I'm going to tell you to go see a lot of people, but whenever you go to see somebody, you have to do your homework. You have to understand a little bit about who they are. Look at the projects they've cast in the past. Look at the actors they've hired in the past for the roles that you might be right for. And then figure out, okay, based on what I know about them, what is it about me that they would find useful? And you really need to understand that, and you need to be able to say it in words. So you need to develop a pitch for yourself. So a pitch could simply be, hi, what's your name? Oh, hi, Cindy, nice to meet you. My name's David. The reason I'm here today is because I'm a professional actor and I've just booked a couple of things and I am just killing it, but this is what I'm really specifically good at. I'm a huge fan of the show you are casting, and I've seen a few roles where I actually thought I would have been a better choice. And hey, that's on me for not reaching out to you sooner, but I just wanted to let you know who I am and what I'm all about, so if you see my submissions coming through, you'll know a little bit about me. And I would love to sit down and do a general read for you. How can I make that happen? Okay, that could be a really quick little pitch to someone. Obviously, it's really friendly, it's helpful, it's not rude or obnoxious. And if they say, I'm sorry, but I don't have time for that now, or even if they say, I'm sorry, we don't do that, which to me is just an indication of the fact that they're trying to push actors towards workshops. And sometimes they may even say, well, we're having a workshop, you could go to that. You know, that's where you need to be delicate and say, well, I'm here right now, and in the time that it takes for us to have this conversation, I could show you what I can do. They may even say, well, you know, send me an email with your reel. And again, you could say, well, in the time it takes to look at my reel, which may have nothing to do with the projects that you cast, I could show you what I could do in an audition of something current, or read some material from another episode that you cast, or I could just bring in something of my own, whatever the case. But we could do this in 2 minutes. So always be friendly, always be helpful, because this is helpful. But don't necessarily take the first thing they say as, oh, okay, thank you, goodbye. Because sometimes it takes a little while to help somebody. They don't see what it is you bring to the table right away. And you know, one of the reasons they say no, one of the reasons we all say no, is we're sort of testing people's resolve. You know, if somebody knocks on your door and trying to sell you magazines and you just say, no thanks, and they go goodbye, then you are thinking, okay, do they really have a decent magazine to sell? Or is this a scam? How did they get in my building? But if they hang out and they say, well, you know, I'm doing it for this reason, we're trying to raise money for our school or for a trip or what have you, then it may change your mind, and you may think, okay, this person's well-spoken, well thought out, and they specifically, you know, are going to ask me some questions so they can find out what I'm interested in, and maybe they'll be able to sell me a magazine. So you have to believe in yourself enough. It's not enough to just have a pitch. You also have to spend some time and learn to appreciate what you have to offer, because you have to be doing this for yourself. You're not trying to make anyone else happy, so to speak. You're doing this because this is what you want to do, and you can't let other people stop you. But also, you need to realize and understand what it is that you have to offer that is so tremendously valuable to this specific person that you're talking to, that you're just not going to go away that easily. I mean, imagine if someone and you've probably seen this before. If someone falls down on the street and they're injured, maybe they're having a heart attack or they twist their ankle, who knows what the reason is. But if you see somebody go down and you go to help them, a lot of times people go, no, 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 I'm fine, go away. That is such a typical reaction. We all have that reaction to strangers because we're all instinctively scared of strangers. It goes back to our biology. If you're a gazelle and you're drinking water at the water hole, if another animal comes up to you that you've never seen before, you're going to be like, who are you, buddy? And until you see that animal bend down and drink water too and not take any notice of you, you're going to be a little bit wary. Or maybe they're going to have a conversation. Hey, how are you? What are you? Oh, I'm a gazelle. What are you? Oh, I'm a hippopotamus. Oh, okay. Do you eat gazelles? No, I just eat vegetables. Oh, okay, great. But maybe I can dig up some grass for you. If you eat vegetables, maybe you can eat some of my leftovers. So this is exactly what you have to do as an actor, is you have to get over that initial fear that people, casting directors, are going to have of you. So anyway, that's just a quick primer. I don't want to get too deep and dirty into it. I do teach and sell courses on this stuff. I actually haven't got anything just yet on how to approach casting directors, but I'll have something soon. So although I do think I have something in my Hack Hollywood course on relationship kung fu, Jackie Chan style, Bruce Lee style. So anyway, the point being, you need to approach people, and I wanted to just go through a little power ranger thing. So we're often told various ways that people want to be contacted. Well, first of all, don't worry about how people tell you they want to be contacted. You decide how you want to contact them. What is the best way for you to contact them? Meaning, what's the best way that will get who you are and what you can do across to them? It may not be the same. In fact, I can almost guarantee you it's not the same as what people tell you they want. I mean, imagine if somebody said, hey, I want to sell you some magazines. What's the best way to contact you? You're going to go, well, aside from not at all, telephone, no, not telephone, but maybe, social media, email, phone me. You're going to be like, don't come to my door. That's the last thing I want. Well, that's exactly what you should be doing, is the opposite of what they want. So if they tell you reach out to me on social media, well, that's because it's really easy for them to ignore. It's not going to take any of their time, and you need to take some of their time. You need them to pay attention to you. So here is my little rule of thumb for how to contact people. Okay, so in order of power, and starting with the weakest form of contact, you start with something like social media, and that's going to morph. I mean, who knows where social media will be 10 years from now, but this is going to always be true. Something like social media that is very easy to ignore, it's like junk mail. You could just not even look at it and throw it out. That is the power of one. It's really almost not powerful at all. It has no power. The next thing might be email. If you can get their email address, then it's addressed to them. It's sort of more like a real mailing. But you know what it's like with email. We get tons of it, but not as much as social media, which there is just buckets of it out there. But let's say, and this is probably not even a strong enough multiple, but let's say if social media is 1, then email is maybe 10 times more powerful than social media because it's addressed, because you can write a long note, more than 140 characters. So that's 10 times more. Then the next thing might be something like a telephone call. And when you actually get to speak to someone, it's much more powerful than an email because you actually get to let them hear and feel a little bit about your personality, but you have no idea what's going on the other end, and they can make up all kinds of stuff about why they don't want to have a conversation with you, and they can't really grasp who you are because they can't see you and because they are so distracted by many other things. So, even if they can talk to you, they still aren't going to convince themselves that you are worth talking to because they really can't see you. They don't know enough about you. You could look like anything. You could be anywhere. There's so many telephone scams, so to speak, and it's much easier to scam someone over the phone than it is in person. So that would be 10 times to 100 times more powerful than an email, is talking to them on the phone. Now here is the coup de grace. This is the winner-take-all form of meeting, and that is face-to-face, which is, of course, what I've been telling you all along. And I would say face-to-face meeting is anywhere from 10 to 100 times more powerful than a phone call. A face-to-face meeting means someone has to pay attention to you 100%, okay? You literally, when they're looking at you, you have their focus, especially when you're a stranger, because that's when we're most at our alert, is when someone we don't know is in front of us and we want to figure out what it is they're doing here. So they're going to be looking at you, paying attention to you, somewhat hostile potentially, but that's fine because you're going to be able to get over that with your pitch. But that is where the power is. And as an actor to an actor, that is what you should be doing 99% of the time you can. It's so easy to default to, oh, well, you know, I don't have time. It takes more time. I can make 10 times as many phone calls. Yeah, you can, but it could be 100 times more powerful to go see them in person. It's like you are guaranteed to get some kind of result if you see someone in person. They could be yelling and screaming at you, which is fine. You have a relationship. This is relationship building. When you're face-to-face with them, you are literally building a relationship. Even if you are so nervous that you vomit on their floor, how cool would that be? Because you could get to go back and everybody's going to know who you are. And so long as you don't, you know, make threats or anything like that or do anything scary, then they're going to be like, oh, I think I recognize you. Yeah, I'm the guy who threw up on your floor last week. Oh my gosh. And you go, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, don't worry about it. I know we all get nervous. So you never really did get to say what you were here for, and then you get to say what you're here for. And how much more receptive would they be after even the worst possible meeting, so long as it's you going in there with good intentions? Okay, that's the main thing, is to be going in there to help. Okay, so super, super powerful. And, you know, I can add more to this. Whoever you're talking to is the most important person in the world, okay? If it's the reception person, you know, the assistant, the associate, whatever their level is, that's who you should be addressing all of your help towards. And you can help them in so many different ways. Don't get caught up in the whole, oh, I've got to help them with my acting. Maybe you can help them in their office. You know, there's internships. Maybe you can help them in that moment by making them smile, by telling them they look handsome or pretty, or you like their hair, or you like their clothing, or they look like they're cold. Could you lend them your sweater? Because then you get to go back and get your sweater. You know, you see something on their desk about the school. Oh, I went to that school too. Oh, I see we're from the same hometown. Oh, I see you're interested in golf. So am I. You just find things in common and you make people happy because they get that sense of community that we're all looking for. You know, when somebody sees something about you and they acknowledge it and they say something positive about it, we're like, oh, that's cool. There's more than one of me, right? It's awesome. It's so awesome. And so you can make people feel good everywhere you go. Now, the other thing about meeting someone face-to-face that is so much more powerful than all of the other forms of social media and email and telephoning is what can happen just by walking out the door, just by entering a building. There are so many possible interactions. When you're emailing or social media, doing, you know, or phoning, it's just you reaching out to the person you're reaching out to. There's really very little chance for accidents, happy accidents. And this is what I guess you could call luck, is you're going to meet other people out there on the streets and they're going to take notice of you. They're going to talk to you, what have you. You're going to talk to them. Maybe you see them in a Starbucks. I really like your watch. And you're just about to go into another office and it turns out that this guy is the producer of the show whose casting director you're going to see. And you could say, hey, I like your watch. Oh, thanks a lot. I got it from my crew. Oh, you work in TV and film? Yeah, I'm a producer. Oh, wow, that's really cool. What do you produce? Well, it's a TV show, you know, The Big Bang Theory or whatever. Oh, you know, that's really funny because I'm an actor and I have to say I'm very talented, if I do say so myself. Little charm never hurts. I'm actually going to see your casting director right now. Oh, you're kidding. You know, Cindy? Yeah, I'm on my way to introduce myself there. Oh, well, you know, when you go in there, tell him Jerry says hi. And, boom, everything changes. And frankly, if you want to talk to a casting director, here's another secret. Look, we all want like the reason to go in, and so we feel like we need a reason because then we feel more confident. Well, you know what? Create the reason. Make the reason up. If you are going into the casting director's office and you feel it would be helpful if you knew the producer, well, guess what? Call the producer's office ahead of time and say, hey, I'm calling to talk to so-and-so about getting onto this show. And they'll probably say, we'll call casting. Well, then when you go in to see casting, you say, hey, I was just talking to the production. I was talking to production and they told me to come see you. Oh, okay. What's casting going to say then? They're going to call them up and go, did you just send this guy over here? No, they're going to go, oh, okay. They figure there's must be a reason for it, right? And boom, you've got confidence and they've got a reason to talk to you. So look, I could go on, and I will, but I just want to help you guys out. Anyway, so that is how you meet more casting directors. Do your homework. Make sure you know what it is you have to offer that's going to help them. And when you walk in, which is what you're going to do, right? Make sure that you try to help them in the moment and you allow things to develop, okay? Don't run away the first time they say no, we don't do that. Just hang out and go, well, how would I do this? Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, that is a fantastic shirt you're wearing. Where did you get that? There are just a million things that you can do to develop the relationship. Every second you're there develops the relationship. It goes from not trusting and not knowing to knowing a little bit to trusting to, hey, we need to use that person because I've spent a little time around them and they seem really cool and fun. So anyway, I hear the house cleaning staff's gonna clean my room in a second. So gotta go, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And if you like this, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it, or whatever, unlike it. And please share this with anyone that this could help. And please subscribe to my channel and all that good stuff. Write a comment, send me a question. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.